Right, so this is a review of the Tomica McLaren Senna. The Senna is McLaren's hypercar named after their driver Senna, and that is the correct pronunciation. I actually listened to it before, despite many people saying Arten, and various ways of pronouncing it. The Senna is a limited production supercar basically, and it might be interesting to know that McLaren actually has the rights to use the Senna name, so no other manufacturer can use it on their car as well. So for this video I'm actually gonna unbox this on camera. So let's see, where should I cut? Usually I just cut like a madman because I'm not too fussed on packaging, but for the sake of not appearing like a madman on camera, I'm going to be quite measured with it. Now before I open the box, I can predict what's going to be inside. It's going to be the car wrapped in a polythene bag of sorts and maybe a leaflet or two. So let's see what we have. Let's get the box out of the way. Yes, car wrapped in a polythene bag. Tomica, this is their usual packaging, but it seems to do the job. I've yet to come across a Tomica that's been damaged or disfigured in some way. And doesn't that look stunning? Look at the level of detail on it. Now this actually comes from Tomica's Premium line, which is a step above the main line. Premium line has several differences, including a better paint finish, more details, and you get proper wheels like the actual car on a Tomica Premium, where if you were to take a Tomica mainline for example, you would just find one of a few designs of generic Tomica wheels. Tires are still plastic though. You don't get rubber tires on Tomica Premium, and this doesn't seem to have the suspension that some other Tomicas have, or rather the same amount of travel, but that's fair enough because this is it's a performance car, it's a hypercar. It's not going to ride the same way as say a SUV or a comfort oriented sedan. So it's looking at it here, it does not have opening doors. In fact, I don't think there's anything on this that can be opened. Fair enough. But what it does have is excellent reproduction of detail. You can see the little window cutouts in the sides of the doors as well below the actual windows. You can see the massive wing, which feels quite sturdily put on. I think it's made out of rubber. Yes, it does feel like it's made out of rubber. If that's the case, it's very nicely painted rubber, I must say. At the rear you can see the blacked out tail lamps, you can see the diffuser. At the front you can see the air intakes, the headlamps. The headlamps are once again just painted silver, but painted very nicely. And overall the paint finish on the car looks quite clean as well. I've got a few Tomica Premiums that came to me from a few years back with substandard paint jobs. If you look on the bottom, we can see this is McLaren Senna, made in Vietnam. Scale is 1:62. I've spoken about this in a previous video. Tomica doesn't really do 1/64 on every single model, but they are a bit loose with it. 1/62, 1/58. I've got a Fiat 500e for another review here, which you can see is scale of 1:59. Now this particular car was bought for me by my wife when she had to go to Bangkok on business at the Tomica store in, I believe, Terminal 21 Mall in Ashraaq. I'm not quite sure how you say that. 450 baht. Converting to Sri Lankan rupees, that works out to about 4,500 Sri Lankan rupees, or slightly below that. And yes, so if there is a Tomica shop in any place that you are going to, because we don't have them in Sri Lanka, definitely go and pay a visit. It's worth it. You'll go crazy there. As for the model itself, feels excellent, feels fantastic. Let's see how it rolls. Yeah, the usual free rolling nature of Tomica models. Bit noisy because of the plastic tires, but otherwise quite nice. And as I mentioned, yes, there's really no suspension basically. I'm pushing it into my table and there is no suspension. That's okay. Overall, I rather like this model. What you don't get are detailed brakes or brake calipers or anything, but then I think that will be on, I don't know, Tomica Limited Vintage probably has that. So there you have it. And just to give you a preview of some of the reviews coming next, these are some that I actually showed in my previous car review that I did of the Tokyo Japan taxi. We have this Volvo 850 Estate, it's a Hot Wheels, and I've also got this Matchbox 1974 Capri waiting. Then another Tomica Premium, the Honda City Turbo 2, which is in scale 1 to 55. So you can see how the scales really vary across the Tomica range. Then there's this Matchbox Honda CVC seat from 1976. And if you just take a look at the back of that, does it say the scale on the box? I can't see it. Maybe it says the scale on the vehicle itself. We can find out during the review. Got a 94 Audi RS2 Avant, also Hot Wheels. And then I've got to review this Fiat 500e, which also was bought by my wife from the same shop in Bangkok. And finally, just bear with me, my table's a bit messy. Lamborghini Countach LPI 804. Now this is a 164. So yeah, Tomica do 164s when they deem it necessary. Stay tuned for all those reviews.